الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم بارك لنا في رجب وشعبان وبلغنا رمضان سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. There are three very auspicious months in the Islamic calendar: Rajab, Sha'ban, and Ramadan. Rajab has gained its auspiciousness due to the night of Laylatul Qadr. Sha'ban has gained its auspiciousness due to Rajab has gained auspiciousness due to Laylatul Mi'raj. Sha'ban has gained auspiciousness due to Laylatul Qadr. And the month of Ramadan has gained its auspiciousness due to Laylatul Qadr. It comes in a hadith when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentions that Rajab is the month of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Sha'ban is my month. And Ramadan is a month of my sinful ummatis. The ulama have mentioned that if Rajab is a month we plant the seed, then Sha'ban is a month when you nurture the crop, and Ramadan is a month when you harvest the crop. If Rajab is a month where the leaves form, then Sha'ban is a month when the fruits form, and Ramadan is a month when you eat that fruit. If Rajab is a month when the winds come, then Sha'ban is a month where the clouds form, and Ramadan is the month where the rains of mercy come down. In the month of Rajab, all good deeds are multiplied 70 times. In the month of Sha'ban, all good deeds are multiplied 700 times. In the month of Ramadan, all good deeds are multiplied 1,000 times. If we compare the virtue, the fazilat of the month of Rajab to all other months, then it is a virtue that the Quran Kareem has over all the other heavenly books. And if you compare the virtue of the month of Sha'ban to the other months of the year, it is like the virtue that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has over all the other Anbiya. If you compare the virtue of the month of Ramadan over all the other months of the year, it is like the virtue that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has over all creation. In the month of Ramadan, so much mercy, so much rahmat descends down. That is why Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala reveals all the heavenly books in the month of Ramadan. When Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam seen the moon of Rajab, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam made this dua, Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban wa balighna Ramadan. Ya Allah, grant us the barakah of Rajab and Sha'ban and let us reach the month of Ramadan. Why did Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam say, grant us the barakah of Rajab and Sha'ban and also the barakah of the month of Ramadan? Because the amount of rahmat, the amount of mercy that descends in the month of Ramadan, any person who has iman, who is alive in the month of Ramadan, it is virtually impossible for that person not to benefit from the rahmat of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Imagine there is a downpour outside, and you step outside without an umbrella, without any kind of protection from the rain. Is it possible that you will walk in that rain and not get wet? Impossible. That is the month of Ramadan. The Sahaba Kiram looked forward to the month of Ramadan so much that 6 months before the month of Ramadan, they made dua to witness the month of Ramadan. When they witnessed the month of Ramadan, they made shukr for 6 months of the year for having witnessed the month of Ramadan. Imam Rabbani as a Junaid writes that if you compare the rahmat that descends in the month of Ramadan to the rahmat that descends throughout the year, the balance of the months of the year, it's like comparing the ocean to one drop of water. Meaning, in all the 11 months of the year, it's like one drop of rahmat. Month of Ramadan is like the entire ocean. Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala narrates that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to punish this ummah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not have given us Surah Ikhlas and the month of Ramadan. Imam Rabbani also writes that the month of Ramadan is the introduction to the rest of the year. The month of Ramadan is a sample of the rest of the year. What does this mean? This means that if you want to bring in some good habits into your life, if you want to remove some bad habits from your life, make an effort in the month of Ramadan, and it will become so much easier to continue after the month of Ramadan. For example, if a person has a habit of looking at a rare mahram, in the month of Ramadan, take extra care not to look at a rare mahram. If a person has a habit of lying, in the month of Ramadan, take extra care not to lie. After the month of Ramadan, with minimal amount of effort, a person will be successful in removing that bad habit. If a person has a desire to perform all his salah with Jamaat, then he should try to perform all his salah with Jamaat in the month of Ramadan. If a person has a desire to make zikr on a regular basis, do that in the month of Ramadan, and with minimal effort after the month of Ramadan, a person is able to continue throughout the year. This month of Ramadan is a season of forgiveness. It is a month when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives thousands and thousands of sinful ummatis. It is a month when it's easy for a person to acquire Jannah. Now, this month of Ramadan is such a great month. It is a once in a lifetime opportunity. We are finishing the month of Rajab. Shaban is around the corner. Ramadan is over a month away. How sure are we that we are going to witness the month of Ramadan? And even if we do witness the month of Ramadan, how do we know if this is the last one, second last one, third last one, and so on? If a person takes the time now to prepare for the month of Ramadan, and if for some reason he cannot make the month of Ramadan, he leaves his work before the month of Ramadan, it is a hope that because the person was looking forward to the month of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward him like he seen the month of Ramadan. And if you prepare for the month of Ramadan and you witness the month of Ramadan, you will value that month of Ramadan even more. We are 30, 40, 50 years old, we see 20, 30, 40 months of Ramadan. Has our lives changed? Very few lives have changed. Why? The month of Ramadan comes, we do continue our normal lifestyle till the day before the month of Ramadan. And if the night before we are looking for the moon of Ramadan, we do not see the moon as one extra day of party. Meaning continue with our own lifestyle, the same old lifestyle. The month of Ramadan comes, we expect the switch to be flipped and we become pious all of a sudden. It is not possible. We have to prepare for the month of Ramadan. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam prepared for the month of Ramadan. So who are we? When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam seen the moon of Rajab, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam began increasing his ibadah. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam began increasing his salah. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam began increasing the amount of charity he gave. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam began increasing the amount of fast that he kept. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam increased the amount of that he wept. He began crying more to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. How much more of an effort must be made to benefit from the month of Ramadan? In order to prepare for the month of Ramadan, we should have prepared a month ago, but it's never too late. We have to prepare ourselves physically as well as mentally. Mental preparation is so much more important than physical preparation. Mentally, whenever we look at the month of Ramadan, it should not be looked upon as a month where we are going to be put through hardship, through difficulty, as a month where we are going to be restricted from enjoying ourselves. If you view the month of Ramadan as a month of hardship, as a month of difficulty, as a month of restrictions, definitely that month will be so. But if you view that month of Ramadan as a month, another opportunity to gain the pleasure of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, recognize Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, gain the love of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, draw closer to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, bring in new habits, another opportunity to acquire Jannah, have our sins forgiven, have all our desires fulfilled in this world and the hereafter, then definitely that month of Ramadan will be a month of mercy. It comes in Hadith al-Qudsi, أَنَا عِنْدَ ظَنِّ عَبْدِي بِي. I am what my servant as he expects of me. So if you expect difficulty, difficulty will be. If you expect rahmat, rahmat will be. I mentioned the story quite often. I'll say it again. There was a person who was going on a journey. And while going on a journey, before going on a journey, part of his preparation, he took a bucket and string and rope. Why? So along the journey, if he needs water, he needs to make wudu, drink water, whatever it may be, he has his bucket and rope, he can draw water from the well. So he took his bucket and rope and started on his journey. Zohar time came, he seen a well nearby, he said, nice place to stop. He stopped there and began having his lunch. While having his lunch, he seen a buck coming to the well. As the buck approached the well, the water in the well rose to the mouth of the well. And the buck got there and drank to his heart's content. This person looking at the well and looking at the water, thinking to himself, the water is right at top. All I will take my bucket and scoop the water out. So he waits. The moment the buck leaves, he goes with his bucket. As he's going, the water is descending, going lower and lower. He rushes and gets there. As he gets there, he scoops and just misses the water. Never mind, he takes his rope, ties it to the bucket, lowers it down, draws the water, performs his wudu, performs his salah, and takes a small nap, Fayullah. All the while thinking, Ya Allah, I try to be a pious, obedient servant of yours. Yet, the buck has a higher status than me in that you bring the water to the mouth of the well for a buck, for me to keep it way at the bottom. Having this thought, he falls asleep. In his sleep, he has a dream, where Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala addresses him and says, Oh my beloved servant, the buck came to the well expecting the water to be right in its mouth, so I brought the water to its mouth. You came to the well expecting the water to be way at the bottom, so I kept the water for you way at the bottom. Then I read about one some time ago, many years ago, but for some reason it's still stuck in my head. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. If you change the way you look at the month of Ramadan will change. So we should look towards the month of Ramadan as something in our favor, something that is there to benefit us. Then physical preparation for the month of Ramadan. First and foremost, you should start making tilawat of the Quran now. 11 months of the year, the Quran Karim says close. The month of Ramadan comes, the first month of Ramadan, we dust it off and we open. First, we find the Quran Karim. We dust it off, we open, and we expect to read fluently like a Qari. Impossible. We need time to acclimatize our tongues to the words of the Quran Karim. There was a person, he went for Umrah, when he was going for Umrah, and Ali told him that why do I in Medina Munawwara? There's no special ibadah to make in Medina Munawwara besides greeting Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, meeting Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So why do I in Medina Munawwara? Make one entire recitation of the Quran. And before you leave Medina Munawwara, go to the Rawza Mubarak, go to the blessed grave of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and present the Quran Kareem as a gift to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So he said, no problem, I'm going to do that. In those days, we used to stay there for like 9-10 days. So one, 2 days, he said, I was getting my routine set. I said, to make tilawat of the Quran Kareem is easy. Finishing a khatam when we got so much time available to us, nothing else to do, I'll finish it a few days back. He said, around about the 3rd day, I said, let me start. I opened the Quran Kareem and started reading. After half an hour, I only read a few pages. I thought to myself, this is now tough. Why? Because we don't open the Quran Kareem at all. At that time, he made an intention that I will continue reading on a regular basis until I become fluent in the recitation. And he says, now to recite the Quran Kareem in that 10 days is easy. Why? His tongue has become acclimatized to the words of the Quran Kareem. So we should also prepare now for the month of Ramadan. There was one youngster, I told him, month of Ramadan is coming, make an entire recitation of the Holy Quran. He said, definitely I'll do that. At the end of the month of Ramadan, I asked him, how much did you read? He said, 2, maybe 3 paras. Why? It's very difficult. We say that the Quran Kareem, first of all, is a quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Did you know that Quran Kareem is a quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And it is the only sifat, the only quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we can interact with in a physical way, in a tangible way. No other quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can we interact with like this. Then we say we believe in the Quran. Quran is being burned somewhere in the world, being desecrated somewhere in the world, we stand up in arms. But when it comes time for us to recite the Quran Kareem, we don't have time. We don't even know which the meaning of which paras. We don't even know which surahs exist in the Quran Kareem. We say that our success and the success of mankind and humanity lies in the Quran Kareem. All mysteries, all problems, everything is solved in the Quran Kareem, yet we don't even open the Quran Kareem. So we should start now and make it a habit, even after the month of Ramadan, continue the recitation of the Quran Kareem on a regular basis, even if it is 1 or 2 pages a day. Then, what else we can do before the month of Ramadan? Increase in our charity. Why? Charity, nafil sadaqah, not zakat. Zakat is compulsory. There is own benefits and own rewards. Nafil sadaqah attracts the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nafil sadaqah cools the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We spend our days and nights throughout the year working and acquiring this wealth. It has become beloved to us. And if you take that wealth that is so beloved to us and give it the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it holds more value in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the science will tell you that if you take your wealth and give it out in charity, your wealth diminishes. But Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, if you take your wealth and you give it in charity, your wealth increases. This is Iman. Do you believe what your senses tell you, or do you believe what Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said? How much do we accept what the hadith of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Hazrat Rabia Basriya one day, she was sitting at home, and a beggar knocked on the door. The beggar asked, do you have, in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do you have any food for me? So she looked and she had only one piece of bread. She took that piece of bread and gave it to the beggar. The beggar went away. The servant said, oh Rabia, we have no food to eat. She said, don't worry. After a while, there was a knock on the door. Who was it? It was the servant of the king. And he came with some bread. So she asked him, what have you got? He said, I have got some bread for you from the king. So she asked him, how many pieces of bread are there? He says, 9. She says, take it away, it's not mine. He goes away. After a while, he knocks on the door again. She asks, who are you? He says, servant of the king, what have you got? I have bread for you. How many pieces? I have 9 pieces. She says, it's not mine, take it away. The third time he came again, he knocked on the door. And he told her, I'm coming here, this king gave me this bread to give to you. Why are you not accepting it? She says, because I gave one piece of bread in charity. Comes in the hadith of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that any person who gives one piece of charity, 1 rand of charity for example, 1 rand of charity, the return is 10, minimum 10 times. 10 or more. You have only 9, since you have 10. He said, on the way I ate 1 piece of bread. So we should give charity. And today the Muslim Ummah has so much wealth. So much wealth. I'm not talking about me and you, I'm talking about the Ummah at large. There are people overseas, who have millions and billions and trillions of dollars. Muslim Ummah. We have people in South Africa who give zakat in the month of Ramadan, their zakat goes to 50 million rand. There is no shortage of funds amongst the Muslim Ummah. Yet when it comes to help the Palestinians, we go begging to the West. And the West holds us over our heads. They say, no, we are not going to give you anymore. And everybody is running from pillar to post. I read the article. How much do you think the United Nations, UNRWA, how much do you think they get every month? They get approximately $150 million a month. You mean the Muslim Ummah can't afford that? One country produces 10 million barrels of oil a day. Count that and let's say $50 a barrel. How much does that come out to? And the shortage of funds amongst us? And if you are suffering all the time about where to get a living, how to live, things are getting expensive, give charity, give nafs sadaqah. Open your hearts, make it a niyyah of sunnah. I'm giving in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I guarantee you 2 things will happen. One thing, you'll be happy and contented with whatever wealth you have, number 1. Number 2 is that you no shortage of funds in your house. The month of Ramadan is coming, there are people who do not have. We should give in charity, let them also have. Send money to Palestine. Show the West that we, the Ummah, can stand on our own 2 feet. Sacrifice 1 or 2 days of a month eating out and send the money away to charity. Local or international, doesn't matter, as long as you give charity. You have to make sure you give it to the right people, right organizations. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you. One final thing. 15th of Sha'ban is coming. The ulama will give you lots of advice, nasiyah with regard to the 15th of Sha'ban. I just want to mention one thing. It is mentioned in the hadith that person, certain people are not forgiven on the 15th of Sha'ban, on Laylatul Barak. One such person is that person who holds animosity towards the next Muslim brother. Then another person is that person who breaks family ties. Now what happens here in our norm, the norm is, night of 15 Shaban comes. I have heard him, and him. What I do, I pick up my phone, I send a WhatsApp message, please forgive me. Make me maaf for all that I have done, and you put a 2-3 liner message asking for forgiveness. You've troubled him, you've made his life difficult for years. The animosity is sitting there for years. Can 1 or 2 lines absorb all that difficulty? I hurt you for whatever way. I send you a 2-liner. Will you have it in your heart to say, I forgive him? Just by 1 or 2 liners. If we have hurt somebody, if we have harmed somebody, please do not do this. Now is the time before the night of 15th of Shaban. Pick up the phone, even better yet, go and visit him. Beg gifts, take some gifts with you. Why? Comes in a hadith, exchange of gifts increases the love, muhabbat amongst people. Take some gifts, doesn't have to be expensive. Take some gifts, go there and beg him for forgiveness. In your begging, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will honor you. 15th of Shaban comes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will have a favorable decision for you for the rest of the year. The other acts of ibadah from the Shaban will come. Read up the kitab, the ulama will mention. But this is one thing people don't mention. It came across me, one person, 2 people, they were bosom buddies, they had a disagreement. And they were fighting for a few years. So I happened to mention, I said, what happened to you and him? I did your makeup. The 15th Shaban comes, they send me a 1-liner. How can I forgive him after all that he did for me? How can I forgive him based on a 1-liner? That made me think that it's true. Pick up the phone, go and visit somebody and ask them for forgiveness. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the tawfiq to value the month of Ramadan that is coming in front. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it such that our fortune for the next year is decided favorably on the night of 15th Shaban. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let us witness this month of Ramadan, and let it be the best month of Ramadan, and let us witness many more months